Sunday, everybody. I hope everyone's having a really lovely, restful weekend. If you've been following me on Instagram, you will see that I've been posting a lot about the last few weeks being in Bali, doing some work from there, and mainly just using the opportunity to be in a slower paced environment to take some rest. So that's why I thought it would be great today to talk about another way of self-care, which is triggers, and looking at the emotional triggers that we experience. Taking a break in Bali really did allow me to have time to reflect, and often when you have time to reflect and create that white space, then you can really dig deep and think about some other aspects. And I know for me, the emotional triggers is one that I don't often get to dig deep with a lot of the clients that I work with, because we focus so much on the nutrition element and the things that we see on the outside. So, what are triggers? What do we mean when we talk about triggers? Emotional triggers are the way that you see the shift of energy when someone says something or does something, or a situation happens. It can show up very differently for everybody. It could be tightness in your chest. It could just be this sudden shift to feeling unhappy. It could just be you find yourself getting defensive over something that was said, or even slight anxiety. These are signs of you being triggered. Yeah. So why do we get triggered? We get triggered because deep inside of us, deep in our core, is our issues that have not been dealt with, that have layers and layers and layers of protection over. And usually these issues or traumas are things that stem from childhood. And so when a particular situation, or when someone says something, or does something that we don't like, when that happens, then that can trigger the experience that we had in our childhood that still hasn't been dealt with or addressed yet. So triggers are really deep. They show up on the surface in terms of how we experience a shift of energy, but they are really connected to something that's going on much deeper. And so therefore triggers really are a mirror of something that's happening with ourselves, or something within ourselves that we need to address. So it could be that somebody says to you a comment about something that you're wearing, and it immediately triggers, hi Franco, it immediately triggers a feeling that you have maybe about your body, or self-esteem issue that you haven't addressed. It could be that maybe you're in a group situation and you feel uncomfortable, not quite fitting in. And maybe that's a trigger from childhood, from maybe not being in the right friendship group, or the unkind words that sometimes children share between them. There are so many things that we could get triggered by, and the root to what they need addressed. But if they're never really addressed, then you walk through life feeling triggered by things that are happening around you and not really feeling at peace and at ease. So understanding your triggers is really core to your overall happiness. So knowing what the triggers are, which I've explained, and knowing why you get triggered is super important to fully being at peace. So what do you do if you notice, hi Taranga, guys, if you want to comment on anything that I'm saying, please do. I'll just go through and explain. So what do you do if you notice that you are being triggered? You notice that something happens and you're getting that tightness in your chest, or you're getting that sense of being uncomfortable, or you're just having that shift in energy. What do you do about it? How can you address these triggers? Well, I highly recommend seeing doctors that are or work healers that are probably less practical. So not necessarily a normal health practitioner, but maybe someone like a spiritual healer, or somebody that is working on not necessarily the physical, but sometimes our subconscious. Because these individuals are able to dig a lot deeper into not just what they see and what you say, but the underlying messages behind that. Another way is you could work with a health coach. Hi Kamal, thanks for joining. You could work with a health coach. So I myself will do some work with clients that are on my 24-week program, because that's a much more in-depth program where we get to work much deeper, because we have 12 sessions, so we get to work much deeper on health than, you know, just the nutrition element. And you can see more details about my 24-week program on my website, but you could work with a health coach to really address not just health-wise what's going on the surface in terms of what you eat and drink, how you feel about in your body, but the causes of some of the triggers that you're having as well. So a health coach would be somebody that would look at that holistically and work with you. Or you could even just be present and notice that you're being triggered. And by noticing that change in your energy, that you're being triggered, then you can ask yourself a simple question, which could be, what is this saying about me? So if I'm being triggered by something that somebody's saying or something that somebody's doing, knowing that that's a mirror about something that I need to work on myself, or something that I haven't addressed within myself, or something that I'm just actually working on but still not yet resolved, then I could simply ask, oh, I'm being triggered. What is that saying about me that I need to address? So by asking this question, this could be a really good way to be more present and more aware that you're being triggered about something and the work that you still need to do in this area. So I hope that's helped you to understand more fully some of the deeper things that you could work on in terms of your overall health and well-being. I've actually updated my website since I've been away, so it's been great to have that time off and to really have some time to get working on that website. So I'd love to get your feedback on the improvements that I've made to my website. The programs that I have on there, my 3 programs, my 10-day nutrition plan, my 12-week, my 24-week program are now really clear on there. But at the top, you can sign up for my newsletter, and that's the place where I will be sharing much more content around what can support you in terms of achieving your health goal and generally making sure that you're on track for your health and wellness. So thank you guys. Any questions, and please do leave any comments or any thoughts around that topic. Please do leave your comments below. Have a great weekend. Take care.